Hello and welcome to Core Finance in association with the Next Exchange, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce onto the show Sam Preece, who is Executive Director of Clean Invest Africa, a company that floated only last week on Next Exchange, so new to the market. First interview at Core Finance. So Sam, thank you very much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. Very excited to be here. Very excited to have floated the business last week. It's an incredible opportunity to back up some of the views we've got on the opportunity there.
Brilliant. Well, let's just start off. Clean Invest Africa. I'm going to have to ask what you do, where you operate. I think it's probably quite obvious from the title and the name of your company, but if you could just tell our viewers where you operate and what you do.
Sure, yeah, the name does describe it to a degree. We're looking at clean and renewable technologies in Africa, opportunities to invest in companies, technologies and operations there that are covering bringing renewable energy to the market, but also looking at innovative energy efficiency solutions and also opportunities to generate energy from waste. And Africa presents an incredible opportunity for that just at the moment.
And do you feel that there is a need for a company like Clean Invest Africa? Is there space for is this something that governments should be doing, larger companies? Do you feel that you have a role to play?
Yes, there is definitely an opportunity, a big opportunity. And that's not to say that it's going to be replacing anything else that's happening in the market. There's already substantial investment at scale into renewable technologies in other areas in Africa. Our opportunity sits with an appropriately sized investment and early stage technologies where there's clearly demonstrated benefits. So there's going to be a lot of value generated from getting in at this stage to these opportunities. I think Africa also presents some unique opportunities in that respect as well. Africa's got a legacy of technology adoption and leapfrogging some of the traditional technologies. If you just look back at the telecoms and moving and adopting mobile telecoms very quickly, we see there's an opportunity aligned to that, where we can move from infrastructure-based energy distribution to locally based energy or energy generated locally. And that is something that we really want to tap into and support.
And what would be your criteria for investment? What kind of projects and areas are you specifically looking at?
We've got a range of things under consideration at the moment. We're looking at traditional renewable technologies, be that solar, wind and other ways of generating electricity from naturally occurring resources, but also looking at waste to power options and combinations as well. What our projects will almost certainly have a very immediate benefit to the communities and to the environment, because we're reducing some of the issues that occur around that straight away through some of the projects, and we'll be looking at that in the background. Our projects and the opportunities are led by the commercial opportunity, and we want to present a really strong result from our investment, but where we can have intrinsic value created for people and the environment, we'll hopefully be able to do that as well.
So it's not just a value and return, not only for the communities and the businesses that you get involved in, but also for shareholders, and not just on a cash basis and profit basis. You're also offering for investors a social responsibility or a socially responsible investment.
Yeah, we're not specifically looking at that. So our opportunities have to be commercially led. And what we find is often in the market that well-run and well-directed environmental and social projects or energy technology projects are good businesses just by their nature. And that's what we'll be looking for, where we've got a combination of those things, or even where there's just a very strong commercial opportunity to invest in something at an early stage or something that's got a very significant growth opportunity, and we'll be pursuing those very directly.
So Sam, do you see a growth in demand for clean energy and likewise more clean energy investment vehicles like yourself?
Yeah, definitely. There needs to be a range of options available, and the size of the investment is quite critical to dictate that. So having the ability to make appropriate size investments is something that we can really offer, because depending on the stage, depending on the technology and depending on the market, the scale of the investment can vary quite significantly. And with our team that we've got leading this, I think we can bring a lot of value to the companies that we're investing in, because we will help them access capital to grow, but also bring knowledge about how to operate the business, and to bring energy specialism, environmental knowledge, and knowledge of operating within the markets that they're looking to grow into. So I think we can almost immediately bring some very significant value to any investment we make. And I think that's even before you consider the actual market opportunity. When you look at Africa as a continent, there's still a very significant percentage of the population who don't have access to electricity, or certainly reliable electricity. And I think we can see opportunities that will bring that to some of the people on the continent. So there's a macro market opportunity, as well as these smaller scale investment related opportunities.
And albeit you floated last week, and I assume you're very busy, obviously meeting shareholders and obviously kind of doing the rounds around the city, etc. But also, I'm sure you're very busy looking at projects and now deciding where you'd like to invest. Looking ahead at 5 years, where would you like the company to be? Well,
we've through our own networks and the team that we have, we can see the opportunities in the businesses that are there to invest in. And I think we want to be able to look back in 5 years' time and seen and supported some significant growth in those businesses. The market will mature inevitably, and we want to get in at this time to benefit from that, from the development of that market. And I think we'll have some substantial size businesses that we will have been in early with and grown alongside. So I think in 5 years, I think we'd like to have a nice track record of making some very successful investments in this space.
Well, I mean, it all sounds very positive, and as a business, and obviously with the byproduct of having a social impact and environmental impact, probably more importantly. So good luck. As I say, welcome to the next exchange. I hope that all goes well, and look forward to having you back on the show, hopefully in a few months' time, when you've got some investments and some updates for shareholders and our viewers.
Love to come back. Thank you.